Hi, good evening. Let me adjust my yes. We are live here, and we have today a very interesting session. Hi, Dr. Ruhi. So you joined. Uh, Great. So we'll be talking about success today, and we are awaiting more people to join in. Dr. Ruhi has already joined in, so which is great. Let me. Suman has also joined in. Hello, Suman. Uh, एक minute. Okay. Dr. Rui, I'll send you a request. Okay, so now, see, this is a very interesting topic that we've come up with. Success was this month's topic, and every month we come up with one new topic that we have to discuss on. So I wanted Dr. Rui to come up and discuss this month and kind of, discuss about her journey and also what is the current mindset. And while we were discussing, she said, we can actually make a series out of it. Hi. We're waiting for Dr. Ruhi to uh, join in. Hi, Dr. Ruhi, we've sent you a request. I've sent you a request. Are you able to see? It says that you are unable to join. Why does it say so? Uh, uh, I've resent it again. Yes, I've done that. So, yes. Hi.
Hi Nupur, how are you?
Very good, very good. Great, nice. So thank you so much for joining in. Wonderful to have you with us. And today we're going to talk about something which is very prevalent, very. Um, I think it's very important today, especially in light of the fact that the definitions have kind of been changing very much. So, what the definition that we used to define in our times of success as we used to see it, and that has been bothering कहेंगे या उसको बोलेंगे कि simple अगर आप बोलेंगे सोच में how I define it for my children, how I define it for others, how in fact even for our own age group we define it is something that we has been kind of is kind of has been on my mind. So that is why I wanted to come here and with you discuss this. Here I am, and I want to probably ask you. And firstly, thank you for taking out time. I know your schedule. I know your responsibilities. So, abhi bhi, I hope everything is okay. So I'm very happy. I hope Aryan is good, and मुझे उसको thank you बोलना चाहिए, especially.
True,
Um,
true.
and having said this, what are the changing, especially in terms of COVID, in terms of new generation? So there's a lot of change which has actually come about. So
True.
इस नए पैरामीटर में how do you define success? Success का जो हम एक नया दरिया देखते हैं, this definition is not, this discussion is not new. So we will be, and then as we discussed, we will be having a lot of, we're going to have a weekly series about success where we will be doing a sort of a discussion where we'll be discussing about changing parameters of success. Then we have relevance क्या है उसकी, especially in pandemic को लेकर ये एक हमारा एक और session होगा. क्या एक language होनी चाहिए इसके बारे में we'll be coming up with another session. But right now, this particular session will discuss on more like what are the changing parameters that come. So I'll start with that question itself as to what do you think How has the definition of success changed?
Okay. Thank you, Nupur, for having me and the lovely introduction. And congratulations for the work you do, because I know that you are into youth mental health, and I'm something, very passionate about this topic. And especially the times that we are in, it is, I think, the most needed also. So coming to the point of success that we talk about, see, when our generation was growing up, and probably the last generation as well, we have to understand that there is a huge shift in mindset. Maybe not in our generation or the last generation, but at least the new generation that we are seeing. When we were growing up, probably we all know that, all life was all about was engineering, medicine, law, and commerce and arts, right? Success essentially meant security, if I talk about it. The last generation had to go through a lot of turmoil. The kind of scenarios, especially in our country, with the partition and all we have seen, the mindset that they had was that we should be secure, essentially financially secure, so that there is not much of ups and downs, because the crisis intervention was not there at that time. When our generation came, it was more about now taking it to the next level. So the foundation or the base was made by the last generation. The country stabilized a little. So now our generation was supposed to increase it, but definitely the fears of that instability, financial instability, life instability was very well ingrained in all of us. So, the experimentation part, which we see in the new generation, was not there in us. See, every generation will improvise on the last generation, right?
Correct.
जो पिछली generation थी, all they did was earn the bread and butter for us, save it as much as possible for the children, make sure that they invest in kids' education so that they are settled. This was the mindset of the last generation, probably half of our generation also, right? But then the next generation that is coming up, and half of ours as well, has been born in a secure environment. We have been financially blessed. We have seen the security. We have never seen those crises where, we had to fight for bread and butter. So, although that is the basis of life, that, that is essential, but we do not understand the crisis of it. So, for us, the success definition changes a lot, right?
Correct.
Now, if we see the change in pattern, there is definitely in the last generation also we had few who used to live like this, but now at least we see a lot of talks going about following our passions, following what we are good at. It doesn't matter if it's a secure profession or not, we want to go ahead with it, because that's what life is all about now, the generation Z that we call, right? But if you talk about our parents or maybe grandparents, they won't understand this concept at all, right? The new concept that is coming, the freedom. So we see a lot of digital nomads. They don't want to go to a 9 to 5 job. They don't want to get stuck in that cubicle. They need something that they can travel with. They want to explore. They want to have experiences. The last research that they have done in the last 10 years or so, depending on how much money is required to be happy. This was one question, and I participated in that study. So they tried to figure out that, yes, we need money. If you don't have bread and butter at home, if you don't have that meal, you're not going to care about traveling. That is essential. But then how much is too much? And how much is
Correct.
enough? Right? So
Uh-huh.
they did a survey that how much of happiness is dependent on money. So of course, every country's that line limit is different. But what they say is that once your basics are covered, once you have comfortable shelter, once you have 3 times meal, once you have basic clothing, after that, initially it is a linear relationship. As much as money you have, that much you are happy. But after a certain point, there is a plateau. After that certain point, once your basics are covered, happiness is not much dependent on money. This is what they researched, right? So then what is success? Right? If I have reached that level that I'm comfortable financially, I don't have to worry about the 3 meals, I don't have to worry about where I'm going to stay, then how do I define my success? Then this becomes very subjective. And how is it different from everyone is on the basis of how we have been brought up, right?
Correct.
For some
Absolutely.
families, you see individual personalities as well. Uh, Quotations like, you do it to show others, let them speak, you show it to others. For some people, success is about overcoming what other people felt they can't do and then showing them that they can, right? For few others, it's not about other people, it's about just them, that this is my passion and I want to follow it no matter what. Right? So it is a very subjective question beyond that level. Now, coming to this generation, what has happened is, because they don't have that crisis awareness that I need to earn the bread and butter. We used to be like, okay, if we have to go to a holiday, it has to be a good hotel, a good place, if not bus. If I go by a flight, that means it's something. For them, it's
Correct.
like, I even go by a bus, I'm okay with
Bus.
staying in hostels. Right?
Absolutely.
This
Yes.
is a new concept that I want
Adventure.
to,
Huh.
yeah, they want to be backpackers. They don't care about the
Correct.
luxury holidays anymore. So there is
Correct.
a major shift in that. And then if you think of that, and this perception that life is not forever, I don't need any security, right? This has come up in the new generation, probably because they have been brought up with a secure mindset. This is the difference that has come up, that the pattern that we see that has come up. The problem is, now the old awareness is, get your 10th or 12th done, get your college done, get settled, right? Job, then marriage. What that does is puts the pressure on kids. Now, for example, in a class of 10, one used to be following the passion, and then he used to be, the odd one out. Now, out of
Correct.
10, 5 are following that. So the 5 who are not allowed to do that come under the pressure, right? We see that kids who are in academics, who are doing really well, actually are the ones who are more stressed, more than the ones who are failing it. The top of the class is as much stressed as the one who doesn't clear the exams. So why is that? Right? Most of the suicides that we see, of course, children who failed an exam, but then again, somebody who even landed at the second position. That's absurd. That is because their definition of success has been modified by the parents' definition of the success. Parents try to put their own shortcomings on children. That I couldn't do it, and I knew that this made me pay somewhere, I suffered somewhere, so let me pass it on you. Because, so that, of course, that is coming out of the best intentions of the parents, but we need to understand that this life is changing very fast. We didn't have mobile phones. Probably, I think I was in 10th standard when I got my mobile. And now a 2-year-old or 3-year-old is tapping on the screen, right? Probably they
Absolutely.
know more than
Correct.
us.
They're growing up with it.
We need to understand that they are not going to live the life that we have lived. So the skills that we needed probably are, not required for them. So this is the discrepancy that comes. This is what puts pressures on the children, and we need to start working on it and thinking about it, that how, we can make it easier for them and probably understand their aspect as well.
That brings me to a very interesting question, because I'll tell you from a very parent perspective right now. Okay?
Sure.
So there is now success is, like you said, from the, like, a very, there is a generation gap. People don't understand, because we are coming from the aspect ki, this is safe versus this
Yeah.
is risky. Correct.
True.
There is a lot of risk factor out there that we are not aware of, and we've been told that when we are not aware of something, these are the safe sites that we need to do. Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge move of I believe that you kind of prepare the children accordingly.
True.
How can you, what are the factors which can help, kind of, in terms of like, in terms of even children for that matter, how can
Yeah.
you help or prepare them for stuff like there is a generation gap, number one, and but they, with the new technology, and parents themselves are giving this new technology because of the gap that they don't have time, they don't, like, I don't have the time. And when I see my students with the YouTube, and they like, my daughter would like, yeah, I would like a YouTube channel. There are so many YouTube channel of young children, but then there is cyber security factor coming in.
True.
New challenges altogether that a parent like me would not be aware of, right?
Right.
Then there is another ball game altogether of stuff like cyber games, and I was reading about it, which
Yeah.
is something which is a very genuine. It's like पहले होता था, पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे खराब, खेलोगे कूदोगे, you
Nava.
know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
Now it's like that, खेलोगे कूदोगे जो पहले, now it's acceptable, has now shifted to a cyber arena.
Yeah. True.
So success in that cyber arena is also not being understood by parent. but it is a
True.
success there. How
Yeah.
can you kind of lessen the gap? And I know we are probably going to take it somewhere tomorrow also when you're talking about children. So what is the factor that can help a child or help anyone become more successful, or those, what is it
Amazing.
that can bridge this gap?
So I'll actually tell you a very interesting case about this. I think some 2 months back, I got a case in my OPD, and the parents brought, he was 17-year-old. They brought him for gaming addiction, that he doesn't leave the phone at all day, and he's on his computer and he's not studying, etc., etc. Okay, so the guy, of course, with teenage people, they won't share anything what they are doing, and the parents were concerned that he doesn't talk to me. Whenever they would point out, they would get frustrated with him a lot, and of course, they scold him. So he became even more resistant, etc. The behavior that we see in teenagers commonly. So they brought him in my office. So I talked to the guy individually, and then I got to know what he was doing online was some online gaming competitions that he was participating in. And mind you, the father had a stable job of, he used to earn some 50-60,000 a month, and the child had earned some 4 lakh rupees in the last 4 months with gaming.
Wow.
Some big marathon is there, and he had earned that much money. And he told me this, in the session. And then when I called in the parents, then I asked them that, do you know this? And they were like, we are not even aware of it. We just know that he's sitting on the laptop doing something. Right. So now, if it is just about, and the father also is some shopkeeper or something. It's not like he's doing something in the education field where he's contributing in some way that he can show that my work quality is better than yours, isn't it? So it was a very funny conversation that I had that day. Of course, the concern of the parents was very valid, that he's not, finishing his education. This is not something that's going to sustain all of his life. How is he going to maintain? His point was, I'll earn so much in the next 2-3 years, then I'll invest in the business and I don't need to work any day. So can you see the contrast that we have? And how do you say that the child is not successful? Probably he's going to be much more successful because he already has those tactics when he's 70.
And
Right?
it's
So
very legitimate there.
yes, it's an online work. It's the same. You are working, you're good at it, and you're earning money. What he earns in 1 year, he earned probably in 2-3 months, and he's going to even get better, right? How do you know? This is the
Correct,
scenario.
absolutely.
Things are changing. Then we see all these, earlier it used to be singing, dancing, mein kya hai. Now we see all these reality shows and the kind of money kids are making in that. That's huge. So how do you know that this is not right and this is not, not the right path for the kids? So again, the point comes to the insecurity of the parents. They want the child to be stable. They're okay with, sometimes not going them that far, but at least, their belief is, hum nahi rahe to something, we don't have to worry about the kid, he should be that much, right? But then the times are changing. Again, like I mentioned, the digital nomad system, the digital jobs that we have, we didn't even know about this thing, app
Correct.
development, coding and all. When we were growing up, it wasn't just there, or maybe even if it was there, we were not aware of it. But now these things are coming up. Now I see, 4-year, 5-year-old kids joining coding classes. Sometimes it scares me as well. And parents often have this question for me, that is it okay if they put their child in coding? And it's not the parents who is pressurizing, the kids are insisting. They see some classmate doing it, then they want to do it. Then we have all these, online ads coming up with options that you can join this class, you can join that class. So that way things are changing. So what we need to do is the bridging the gap part. We need to understand some basic qualities that we are anyways going to talk about in sessions. For example, resilience, confidence, acceptance, failure acceptance, that it's okay if I fail in life. If these qualities you give to the child, then no matter in what situation they are, they'll be able to handle. See, no matter how much our parents tried to be secure, they saw their ups and downs. We are going to see our ups and downs, and our kids are going to invariably see their ups and downs. Life is never constant for anyone. We cannot escape that pattern. Ups and downs are going to come. But if we have the skills to overcome that when I fail, I don't need to, sulk and cry. I need to get up. I need to do something about it. Resilience, no matter how much I am going down, if I want it, I have to get it done. Confidence, that I know even if I'm going down, I'll do something to bounce back. These skills,
Absolutely.
need to be given. I always say that, schools, they teach us history, science. Yes, we need all those lessons. I agree with you. But practically, I don't see much value. Mental health issues. When you're upset, how do you handle? We see children getting aggressive. We see children getting suicidal. Why? Because they don't have the coping skills. Till the time parents are taking care of them, they are fine. The minute they fail, they want to commit suicide. Because we haven't given them the skill how to cope up with that. How to accept it that you are going to fail. Everybody is. There is nobody in the world who is at any level who hasn't failed. Somebody who is not on any level also has failed. Isn't it? The difference
Correct,
is that
absolutely.
after failure, what did they do? Right? This is the point. So, again, the duty of parents should not be about asking the kids to get those degrees and those medals, etc. It should be the coping skills that you teach, right? Homeschooling system is coming up now. For example, now I am a psychiatrist and now I have a baby boy. I don't plan on sending my child to school. I definitely plan on homeschooling the child, hopefully, if everything works out well. Because those skills, if I have given to the baby, he's going to, be resilient and he's going to overcome whatever happens. That's what is required. Then second part is practical skills. Now, I got a BA degree, I got a BSc degree. What did I learn practically? How am I going to contribute practically to it? Instead, the education needs to be a bit more practical. I'm not saying what is being taught is not necessary, but what is necessary is not being taught. That is my problem.
Absolutely.
Right?
And then
So
that is which,
practical skills have to be given.
but Ruhi, I have a very important question here, because this is something that I've been dabbling with, and
Okay.
almost that sometimes you're not able to, as a parent, not able to, like, as a parent, you can afford to kind of, because you are in that field, you're a psychiatrist, you can give that knowledge to your child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes parents themselves are not really aware on how to teach emotional mental health management, because वो
Yeah.
डिफॉल्ट मैनेजमेंट हो जाती है, तो क्या हो जाता है कि लाइक आई से अडल्टिंग डिफॉल्ट हो जाता है वो. So
बिल्कुल.
after they've not really gone through a process of training, nobody has really taught them how to actually be an adult. So
True.
obviously, if they've not been taught, how will they pass the skill which is not been taught to them?
True. So see, the first step is awareness. We need to understand this.
Correct.
Last generation was not that educated, but their kids became doctor, engineer, etc. Right? You don't
Absolutely.
need to yourself know about it. You just need to have the intention that your kids should know it.
Beautiful.
Right? 10
Correct.
years
Right.
ago, things were different. Now everything is available online. I'm not even talking about financial. See, now we are doing a free session. Only thing is, intention is there. YouTube is full of videos. You can learn from there.
Absolutely.
You follow these people. We do a lot of online sessions. Just follow us and learn some skills. That's it. See, everything is available. And mind you, I'm a firm believer in this thing that if you have set your mind to something, the way comes along. Right? So, and this thing that, we put our adulting is very automatic. We put our own inhibitions and all on the kids. Normally also they say, na, bade hoke maa baap jaisa hi banega. But it doesn't have to
Ah,
be. Isn't it? Yes, your kid biologically is prone to becoming much like you, but then if you already know there are some shortcomings in you, you can make sure that he gets help for that. What comes in between is the ego. Most parents, most I'm telling you, think that they know the best. They are much more intelligent than everything else. But that's not
correct.
always true.
True.
That is a problem. Ego. मुझे कैसे बोला मैं बता रहा हूं ये सही है yes for you it was right and especially with the successful parents this issue comes that my way is the only way that is correct that's not necessary that is why we always see कि एक generation जो successful हुई है ना the next generation is going to be failing in the same field they'll do something in the other field but in the same field higher chance of failing although they have all the assets and opportunities why because it becomes very constricted that this is my vision you just follow it and what happens is the kid doesn't develop the skills to negotiate doesn't get the skills to decide doesn't get skills to face it themselves because everything has been given on a platter to them so
True.
this is what
Very
needs
true.
to be prevented
Very true.
right yeah
I see. I think we're almost towards the end, so we have the last 5 minutes. The next few sessions are going to be on how is, and we're going to be discussing about pandemic. It's not. It's more about we have more life experience more than you.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes,
also
we know more.
definitely. Yeah, that's what.
It,
That is your ego talking, right? See, if you knew everything, the first thing that we need to know is we don't know everything. Everybody needs to understand this, that we don't know everything. You're actually very right. So, yeah, that's what they have their experience and they stick to it. What I am trying to say is you had your own life also. So, for that experience worked. They don't have your life. They are never going to have the same life that you had, right? So come core skills which a human needs are going to be consistent, but rest of it is all, hogwash. We don't need that. So first thing is you first decide that, okay, I don't need to put it on my kid. Then the next step is that now how do I provide that to my child? That is the next step. And that is very easily done these days. That is not the hard part. Hard part is accepting that, I don't need to put my ideas into his head. We need to help them learn how to think, not what to think.
Precisely. It's more about
Yeah.
how to take a decision and choose
Yeah.
the decision
Yeah.
making
Rather
process
than what
rather than
decision.
what is right. What worked for me will not work for them. That is a given.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah,
That's absolutely. So
yeah,
I think it is a very beautiful takeaway for so many things that we have to kind of make that change and not let our ego as parents come in way for making the right decision. I think it has to be a communication between the parent, but
true.
we will come back with how, and I think parent children success. And this is like when we say changing parameters of the success, though we have kind of concentrated only on children, it is changing for everybody across.
True,
Even for
true.
adults, it's changing. So we will
Definitely.
discuss more about it in the next coming sessions, which is the next session will be on April 23rd, which is next week itself.
Yeah,
Which is also we'll be discussing on relevance of success, especially given the pandemic. Now that we are all somehow coming back, the lockdown is coming back. We are based in Mumbai, Maharashtra is
yeah,
Talamandi. Not an easy thing. Pura India is kind of going through that wave again.
yeah,
I think life is giving us challenges after challenges to kind of make our own success
yeah.
habits. So,
True.
beautiful conclusion focusing on how to think rather than what to think. Thank you, Bhavna. And I would love, and thank you. I think it's a discussion which just doesn't end here, which will go on.
True.
And we will look forward to having all of you again next week. So thank you, Dr. Ruhi. It was a lovely discussion, and we will continue having these. Again, we'll be coming back next week with relevance of success in this pandemic time. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you, Ruhi, Dr. Ruhi, for coming in.
Thank you for having me, and really congratulations for taking up this initiative. And hope we can do some good work.
Absolutely, we will together. Definitely, we will.
Yeah.
Chaliye. All right. Yeah, bye
All
bye.
right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.